From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, September 10th. Starting out in the 60s this morning, you're going to notice it's a little bit warmer, and we're going to keep heating up. Going to get up to the 80s today. Plenty of sunshine, dry air, but we do really need some rain. We have new information from IMPD about a late-night crash in Indianapolis. Police now say one of 6 people injured in the crash was either a child or a teenager, and that the wreck threw one person from the car. It happened at about 10:30 on Southeastern Avenue near the Marion County Fairgrounds. IMPD says a witness saw the car speeding, then it fishtailed, left the road, and hit a tree. Police tell us 4 adults are critically hurt. Police say they do not know why the driver was speeding or why they lost control. The 2-year search is over for a former Madison County Council member wanted for alleged child sex crimes. Federal marshals captured Steve Sumner yesterday near Winchester, Kentucky. That's just east of Lexington. Madison County prosecutors charged Sumner with rape and child molestation in 2022. Sheriff's office says state police issued a warrant for his arrest in 2023 when he left the area. Sumner was a Republican member of the Madison County Council from 2018 until he resigned in 2021. New this morning, expect to see extra officers around a school in McCordsville after an unusual arrest. Police say they took a student into custody for making threats at a school. They are releasing no specifics about the child, but the school is Guy's Montessori Academy, which is a preschool. That would indicate that the student is very young. Prosecutors say there is no active threat to the school this morning, but they are increasing police presence at the school just as a precaution. Several groups are fighting to move to redraw Indiana's congressional districts. News 8 government reporter Garrett Berquist shows us how they took the cause directly to the governor's office.
Voting rights groups say they collected nearly 9,000 signatures from people who don't want lawmakers to redraw congressional districts. They say calling a special session would be a waste of time and taxpayer money.
That's a representation, though. Every piece of paper in there represents the roughly 9,000 Hoosiers that have taken action.
With oversized letters and paper representing the electronic signatures, petitioners say they want lawmakers to ignore the pressure from the Trump administration.
Hoosiers are speaking out in large numbers to say that they want their legislators to focus on them and their issues, not Washington, D.C.'s politicians' issues with congressional lines that were just drawn 4 years ago.
Vice President J.D. Vance last month urged Indiana Republican lawmakers to redraw the map ahead of next year's midterm elections. Republican leaders say redistricting also came up during a previously scheduled visit to Washington, D.C., though it did not dominate the discussion.
You know, I wore this pin on purpose, vote for gerrymander, he's the proven winner. That's the message that this sends, that you can go to the polls, but your votes don't matter. Because we have already decided that Republicans will take all of the 9 congressional seats in our state.
I wouldn't be able to attach a file that lets you guys know all the names.
Petitioners visited the offices of Governor Mike Braun, Senate President Pro Tempore Rod Bray, and House Speaker Todd Huston. None of them were in their offices, so the petitioners left their letters behind. Braun, Bray, and Huston all did not respond to my request for comment on the petition.
In Indiana, we do what's right for Hoosiers. That has been our history, and we haven't been afraid to be independent thinkers before. So, again, our purpose here is to demonstrate to our elected officials that Hoosiers don't want a special session. If you convene one, they will be unhappy about it, and just leave well enough alone.
Once again, the governor has sole power to call a special session. What happens after that is up to legislators. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Avon school leaders have fired a support staffer who brought a gun to an elementary school. The district says an employee at Hickory Elementary School found a handbag in a secure staff closet yesterday morning, opened it to figure out who the bag belonged to, and found the gun. The employee then reported it. Avon school police say the person accidentally left the gun in the bag. School district is not releasing the name of the fired employee. Prosecutors have not said if he or she could face charges. Wish TV is your education station. A nationwide survey of free speech on campus shows mixed results at 4 Indiana colleges. News 8's Kat Sandoval has the report and the reaction.
The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, ranked 257 schools across the country and interviewed 68,000 students between January and June of this year. The top ranking include DePauw University, ranked 18, and Purdue University, ranked number 2 for the best colleges for free speech.
They have policies that protect their speech on campus. They promote an environment in which they talk about free speech being important for learning and important for the student experience.
While Purdue received a high rating, FIRE says the survey was conducted before the university chose to no longer circulate its independent student paper, The Exponent. FIRE says they'll add this to Purdue's score next year. Notre Dame and Indiana University both scored an F. IU had the worst ranking, falling at the bottom 3 worst schools for free speech.
Even one egregious event that strikes down free speech can really have a lasting impact on students' trust.
Last year, state police confirmed snipers on rooftops overlooking Dunn Meadow during a protest.
And students remember, a lot of the student comments that we got in this survey this year referenced the sniper on the roof of the building during a protest that they had.
More than half of the schools surveyed got an F ranking. In the survey, students also mentioned the Israeli and Palestinian conflict was the hardest to discuss.
So not only is it that they're having a hard time speaking on campus, but they're also having a hard time listening and letting others speak on campus.
Indiana Secretary of Education Katie Jenner says she hasn't read the report yet, but says universities can always improve.
Across all of our college campuses, we should look at what we're doing, we should reflect on what we're doing, and continue to improve.
FAR also says students surveyed across political lines think violence is an acceptable alternative to peaceful protests. Researchers say these findings raise alarms across campuses. I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV, wishtv.com.
The Supreme Court has granted an unusually quick hearing on President Trump's sweeping tariffs. The court announced yesterday that the justices will hear the case in November. Lower courts have ruled most of the tariffs are not legal. High Court has agreed to hear the Trump administration's appeal. An appeals court agreed to leave the tariffs in place until the Supreme Court hears the case. Chief Justice John Roberts is keeping $5 billion of foreign aid frozen for now. Roberts acted on the Trump administration's appeal of a lower court ruling. That ruling said Trump could not freeze the spending without congressional approval. Roberts' new order is temporary while the matter plays out in court. Poland and its NATO allies have shot down Russian drones that crossed the country's airspace late last night. Poland's prime minister made the announcement on social media. The country's defense minister says more than 10 objects crossed into Polish territory during a Russian attack on Ukraine. Warsaw's main airport suspended flights for several hours due to the closure of the airspace during the incident. Let's now go to your business headlines with Jane King. She starts with inflation reports that are due out this week.
We do expect to see prices continuing to accelerate in August. So producer prices, that is the number we get today, actually in about an hour. And that's what businesses pay for materials and labor. The increase in inflation expected to come from tariff-sensitive goods rather than services. The consumer inflation number is what we will get tomorrow. Well, home values are rising in half the country and falling in the other half. Zillow says the Midwest and the Northeast are seeing home prices increase, but the South and West are not. Now, FC Tucker recently said Central Indiana's housing market saw an increase in new home sales contracts, and that marked the largest monthly growth in 2025. That was for the month of July. U.S. employers added far fewer jobs last year and early this year than previously thought. The Bureau of Labor Statistics revised the numbers, which is routine, and says 911,000 fewer jobs were added than what was reported. This indicates the labor market may have been significantly weaker and earlier than what initial estimates had suggested. Well, Cracker Barrel announced it's suspending its restaurant remodels after facing public outrage over the changes. Cracker Barrel said only 4 of its 660 locations had been remodeled. They pledged that project will not continue. Now, the remodels dropped the kitschy Americana decor and replaced it with kind of a more minimalist, modern look. The company said it will instead invest in restaurant quality and its food. Okay, yesterday, all three major stock indexes closed at new record highs. The Dow was up about 200 points. It was boosted by a jump in shares of United Health. This morning, mix as we wait on those inflation numbers, which will be out at 8:30. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King.
Indiana Fever head into the playoffs on a high note, beating the WNBA's top team in their final regular season of the game. Fever beat the Minnesota Lynx at home last night, 83-72. Kelsey Mitchell led the shorthanded team with 18 points. She now owns the Fever's single-season scoring record, averaging 20.2 points a game for the year. She passed Caitlin Clark's previous record last month. Teams now waiting to see who they will face in the first round of the playoffs, which are set to begin this Sunday. So Colts gear up for Sunday's game against the Broncos. Team's first Community Tuesday of the season is in the books. Players hosted the 7th annual Colts School Uniform Blitz at College Park Elementary School. They helped more than 600 students pick out clothes and supplies that the team provided.
It's a true blessing. We have such a platform, and I love that us as an organization, use it to the best of our ability. Events like this for the kids, for other communities, you can't replace it. You can't replace it.
Team says each student received a full school uniform, a pencil pouch full of supplies, and a toiletry kit. And, of course, some Colts gear. Former Colts star T.Y. Hilton is about to be a Hall of Famer. His alma mater, Florida International University, is set to induct him this weekend. Hilton will be the first football player to join the Hall. Hilton played 10 seasons with the Colts, then one with the Cowboys, before retiring. Your statewide news network covers Fort Wayne, where a local man has broken a sunny world record. News 8's Gina Galeras shows us how he and his sunflower are reaching new heights.
A 35-foot sunflower in Fort Wayne is a labor of love, spreading love.
And I was like, this is fun. How far can we take this,
Little did grower Alex Babish know at the time just how far his hobby would take him. Originally from Ukraine, the sunflower is Ukraine's national flower. Babish grew his first sunflower 7 years ago, standing at 13 feet tall.
And I started laughing. I remember laughing. I said, you think I can grow a 30-foot flower? Best growers in the world tried this, and nobody got there. The 30-foot, 1-inch mark has been famous. It's been set by a German grower 11 years ago.
Historically, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA wasn't made famous for sunflowers. Last year, a documentary crew approached them to film the garden. This year, his wife prayed that they would beat the world record.
Her prayer was answered. We beat the Guinness World Record, and we beat it by her height.
Clover, the world's tallest sunflower, now standing at 35 feet 9 inches, is still growing.
In a way, we're representing Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA, and Ukraine. I'm originally from Ukraine, so there's just so much at stake. It grew just like this flower. This story grew so quickly.
Their family sunflower has made national headlines.
And everybody's is behind us 100%, and I want to thank every single person that supported us. It's been awesome.
Babish also hopes this serves as a light during the darkness in Ukraine.
This story with Clover the sunflower reaches all the right people in the right places, and let's end this war.
As for the future, Babish says he's not done growing.
40-foot flower is not out of the question.
For now, his family is soaking in the beauty of this moment.
This flower is a miracle. It truly is.
Beauty that's bringing everyone together. I'm Gina Galeras for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The new Girl Scout cookie takes its inspiration from Rocky Road ice cream. They're called Explore Mores. Scouts say they're chocolate, marshmallow, and almond-flavored filling. You'll be able to buy them in January when the new cookie season starts. The addition comes with the subtraction, though, of another treat. S'mores are gone. So are Toastiers, which were not in the lineup here in central Indiana, but you could get them in Fort Wayne. This has been your News 8 Daily. From Wish TV, I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.